Are you tired of being skinny? Are you tired of being tired?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should just get a drink of water.
Thank you.
For everyone else, what's cracking, guys? Omar Yusuf here, back with another video. This is a very special video because this is going to be my first pull-up program. It's released for free. It's in the description. Yes, I didn't make a fancy Excel because you know what? Maybe I will. I don't know the demand for this program. If you want to see it made in Excel, give this video 5,000 likes. But I've been speaking for the last few years the power of doing pull-ups. I think how the squat is to your legs, how when it comes to chest training, the bench press, there's just a whole bunch of mutual harmony going on. I think for growing a bigger back, you need to be doing pull-ups. I think pull-ups are easier to periodize than another fantastic back movement, the bent over row. Not that you shouldn't be doing the bent over row, but it's hard to be honest with the bent over row. Momentum, when we film ourselves, we're like, oh yeah, that looks like a good set. Meanwhile, we're using too much momentum in order to execute the bent over row. The pull-up keeps us more honest. It also targets the entirety of the back. That equipment that you need is virtually nothing. So if you work at home, you could do this pull-up program. If you work out at any commercial gym, you should have access to a pull-up bar. Otherwise, your gym is absolutely trash. But this is the first time I'm giving a concrete program to follow if you want to get a bigger, stronger back. And I don't care if you just, are concerned about the big three, increasing your bench press, the deadlift, and the squat. Having a stronger back will equal more stable bench press. Your lats are involved in the bench press. The same can be said when it comes to the deadlift. Increasing the size, the thickness, and the strength of your back can only benefit you. Okay, so with that being said, I've spoken previously all about pull-ups and how I did a high volume approach. I did 10,000 pull-ups in a year and my back blew up. And then I also talked about doing weighted pull-ups, and I never really gave an exact program. And the problem with a lot of potential pull-up programs I've seen before, it assumes a lot. And as you know, you should just not assume. So I'll tell you to do, 3 sets of 8. It'll tell you to do on one day, you're gonna do sets of 6, another day sets of 10. Well, that assumes a base level of strength that maybe that you have, or that everyone's the same. A 120-pound person, because your body weight, the biggest variable when it comes to the pull-up is your own body weight. If you're 120 pounds, and then if you're 200 pounds, the weight you use on a pull-up program will be dramatically different. And so this program has 2 cool features. One, we're gonna work off of percentages, and you're gonna notice that the percentages are lower. They're lower because we're only taking into account the load that we're carrying in addition to our body weight. So yeah, it's 40% of your 1 rep max if we calculate that based on the load you're lifting, but your body weight's also variable. So don't think, oh, 40%, what the hell is that gonna do for me? This will have a significant training effect. And then on the other hand, we're gonna use something called RIR, reps in reserve, which is an easier way to think about this program than RPE, rate of perceived exertion. Because once again, if you give a 3x10 to someone that's 120 pounds, it'll be incredibly easy for them to do 10 repetitions. If you give someone that's 200 pounds a 3x10, that might be difficult. And so we're gonna have rep goals. And I'll explain all this. It's all linked in the description. I wrote the whole damn thing out. It's a 5-week repeating cycle. So it's gonna be 4 weeks increasing the weight, and then on the 5th week, we are going to deload. I don't think that's as necessary when it comes to the strength component, but more just to give our body a little bit of a break. We are doing a high volume approach. And really, while we have rep goals and percentages, you will, if you follow this for an entire year, still hit about 10,000 repetitions. So it's a high volume program, it's a high frequency program, and it's a program designed to make you stronger. It's structured around 3 different days. To begin this program, all you need to do is one thing. Test roughly your 1 rep max when it comes to the pull-up. And I should be very clear, this isn't an absolute 1 rep max. This is going to be a comfortable max because as the weight gets heavy, we might not be going all the way up. We might cut the range of motion. We might use a little bit of momentum once again. So when you measure or you test your 1 rep max, I think it's really probably at 80 or 90% of your true 1 rep max. That's all you need to do to follow this program. And then from there, what we're going to do is a 3-day split. Ideally, you do this Monday, Thursday, Saturday, but you can fit it in however works for you. Monday is going to be a moderate day, so it's going to be 4 times 6 at 40% of the load that you use as your 1 rep max. And then what we're going to do is something like I said before, an AMRAP set, so as many reps as possible, but cutting it short when you can only do 2 more good reps. So what you do your 4x6 at 40. And again, keep in mind, that's not a true 40% because your body weight is part of the load, but we just don't calculate it that way. You would do then an AMRAP set where you leave 2 good reps in the tank. And I don't want to see any shitty reps where you're really decreasing the range of motion or swinging. We want solid repetition. So you just do 1 AMRAP set on Monday. On Thursday would be the heavier day because now we've already kind of primed the body to doing pull-ups at the start of the week on the Monday where you did the moderate load. Now we're going to be doing 5 sets of 3 on the other hand with a heavier load, 65% of the load that you use when you tested your 1 rep max. Good clean repetitions. You can rest as long as necessary when you do this. Before you do your 5 sets of 3 heavy, we're going to preemptively start by doing another AMRAP, and this time the RIR is 3. And if you're confused, like what does it feel like to have 3 reps left in the tank? Well, a set like that should be a little bit easier than a RIR of 2. You should feel comfortable. You shouldn't feel stressed out. Really, it's just to get the body moving. So you start with an AMRAP on day 2, which is on Thursday. Then you do your heavy sets, so 5 sets of 3. And then you finish with a slightly more difficult AMRAP, RIR 2. Finally, we're going to do rep goals on Saturday. This is where we get the high volume, where for the first week, you have to do 60 total repetitions. And you can do this any way that you want. It's body weight, which means you could do 6 sets of 10 if you want. Hell, you could even do, if you really wanted, 4 sets of 15. If you're not strong enough yet, you could do 10 sets of 6. And this is what I mean when I say this program scales to the user. Even if when you tested your 1 rep max and you found out that you could only pull, in addition to your body weight, 30 additional pounds, that's cool, dude. The percentages will still work. And the RIR makes it easier where it's based upon your relative effort. So the big problem with most other pull-up programs that try and make you stronger or bigger, it assumes a certain level of strength, but also if you're way stronger than that, it's not gonna work for you. If you're a light guy, it probably won't work for you. It assumes, roughly your X amount of weight, your X amount of strength. Well, let's change that up. Let's make it so it applies to everyone out there. So this program is 3 times per week. It is high volume, it is high frequency, and also it trains you to get stronger. I think this personally is the best pull-up program out there. You'll notice every single week you add a little bit more volume and a little bit more intensity for 4 weeks. On the 5th week you deload, and then once again on the 6th week you restart, except a little bit higher than week 1. So gradually you're handling more and more volume as it's necessary in order to keep growing and lifting a little bit more weight. You should notice that the 1 rep max of your pull-up strength increases over time, and this is just a function of doing all these repetitions. Finally, to answer a common question, what should you do in addition to this back training, all these pull-ups that you're doing? I would keep the rest of your back training basically the same, maybe lower it a little bit, make sure you're recovering fast enough in order to maximize the strength and the amount of repetitions you do when it comes to your pull-ups. You should start with the pull-ups, but it's not like you need to dramatically decrease your total back volume. I'd say maybe everything else just lower it by 20% as you start with this pull-up program. Anyways, guys, you have been asking, the whole lot of you, for some sort of pull-up program that help increase your pull-ups, but also, more importantly, your back size. I think this is a highly effective program. If you want to see it turned into some sort of Excel, I'll get on it. It takes time. Just let me know. Give the video a like, 5,000 likes, and we'll make it happen. The proof is in the pudding. I think, once again, this will help you out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see all you guys. I want to thank you for watching this video, my rascals, in that next one.